Sarada's mangekyou Sharingan power is revealed. Do you realize why Sarada isn't affected by Zeno's power? That's right, it's because of Sarada's mangekyou Sharingan power that can manipulate time and thoughts. But wait, does this make sense? In my opinion, if Sarada isn't affected by Aida's Zeno power, it's possible that the power of her Sharingan eye has an influence. Because as we know, every Uchiha member who has awakened his Sharingan eye, it is certain that the eye will have special abilities from the eye. For example, Itachi, one of the powers of Itachi's eye is that he is able to use Tsukuyomi. That ability can be used by Itachi because he actually wants that the tragedy of the Uchiha clan massacre is just a nightmare, not a reality. Because of his wishes, he finally has the power to create nightmares. Then what about Sarada? Does this make sense why she is not affected by Zeno's power? What do you think, guys? But before that, welcome back again to my channel, Data Bio. In this video, I will discuss the power of Sarada's Sharingan eye, which is a mystery. Because as we know, Sarada really doesn't show what the real power of her eye is. But if there are some sentences that you disagree with, or you have another point of view about what I said, I am very happy if you give your opinion. And by the way, it seems like a lot of viewers of this channel have not subscribed. So I ask for your help to click the subscribe button and help me reach 1,000 subscribers. Thanks, guys. Sarada is facing a very dangerous enemy. What exactly happened to Sarada's strongest power? Did she lose it, or did she feel she didn't need it to fight Hidari? There is a possibility that the real reason Sarada didn't use her mangekyou Sharingan against Hidari was because she didn't know she had awakened the eye. There is information in the Naruto story that can support this theory, even in Boruto's story too. The first information we will discuss is the mystery behind Obito actually waking up his mangekyou Sharingan eyes. This mystery is quite interesting because the actual event of Obito's mangekyou Sharingan eyes awakening was when Rin died. This would certainly make sense since the reason the eye woke up was because Obito was in deep emotional distress. However, there is a statement from Madara that makes a big question mark. After Obito gave his left Sharingan eye to Kakashi, and then Obito's body was immediately crushed by rocks, he didn't really die. Everyone thought that the reason Obito didn't die at that moment was because Madara had saved him. But if we look back at what Madara said, that's not what actually happened. Madara did heal half of Obito's body that had been badly damaged by a large rock when saving Kakashi. However, the other half of his body did not suffer severe injuries, and Madara had told the reason why Obito's half of the body did not suffer injuries as bad as the other body. It is indeed a miracle that you are still alive. I also don't understand why your body didn't break after being hit by the rock, as if you managed to avoid the rock. As you know, the ability of Obito's mangekyou Sharingan is Kamui. Kamui allows Obito to pass through objects by transferring part of his body to the Kamui dimension. When Madara said that Obito seemed to be able to avoid the rocks that fell on the other half of his body, perhaps it was a manifestation of the power of Obito's mangekyou Sharingan eyes. This implies that without Obito realizing it, he had already awakened the power of the mangekyou Sharingan when his body was hit by many rocks, not when he saw Rin die. Even so, there are definitely arguments against this theory. For example, if he had indeed awakened the power of his mangekyou Sharingan, why did half of Obito's body still suffer severe damage? The answer is very simple. Obito only awakened the power of his mangekyou Sharingan at a time when he had a very strong will to live. That moment happened right after the rock wall collapsed, which means that the next rock that fell on Obito had already passed him by. After all, if he received the next load of rocks, shouldn't the other half of his body be even more severely crushed? But in fact, Madara was still able to recover that half of Obito's body with Hashirama cells. This meant that perhaps that half of Obito's body had not been completely destroyed. You must also remember that Obito's ability to avoid an object can be used without him realizing it. For example, when Obito first awakened his mangekyou Sharingan, he was able to dodge an attack from a Kirigakure shinobi, even though he only seemed to have awakened his mangekyou Sharingan at the time. This proves that the power of the mangekyou Sharingan's eyes can appear without the owner realizing it. And this also applies to Sarada. Sarada, who has an incident similar to Obito, will get the same effect, where the cause of her mangekyou Sharingan eyes awakening is because she experienced tremendous emotional distress when she saw her closest friend considered an enemy by everyone. This made his desire to protect someone able to release special chakra to awaken the mangekyou Sharingan. However, the Sarada who had awakened her mangekyou Sharingan eyes did not necessarily realize it. In fact, she was awakening this power while under considerable stress. So only Sasuke actually saw the pattern of the mangekyou Sharingan in Sarada's eyes. You should also know that Sasuke did not say the words mangekyou Sharingan in front of the Sarada when the incident occurred. He only spoke in his heart, and that is evidenced by the appearance of the words mangekyou Sharingan not in the dialogue box. The words that appear without a dialogue box indicate that the words were expressed only in Sasuke's mind. Speaking of the power of the Sharingan eye, there are other examples from the Uchiha members, and as an example is Itachi. One of the powers of Itachi's eyes is that he is able to use Tsukuyomi. That Tsukuyomi can be used by Itachi because he actually wants that the tragedy of the massacre of the Uchiha clan is just a nightmare, not a reality. Because of his wish, he finally had the power to create nightmares. Then, Amaterasu's firepower comes from Itachi's desire to continue protecting Konoha village. He wants to be the fire determination of Konoha itself. This is what allows Itachi to use Amaterasu's fire, because Amaterasu's fire symbolizes his fire willpower that cannot be extinguished. Besides Itachi and Obito, the next example is Sasuke. And as you know that one of Sasuke's Sharingan eye powers is Amaterasu, just like Itachi. And why does Sasuke have Amaterasu fire? Does he have the same fire determination as Itachi that was talked about before? I think for Sasuke has a different reason. Sasuke has Amaterasu's fire based on his very deep hatred. And it's different from Itachi, who has Amaterasu's fire to protect something he really wants to protect. Sasuke's Amaterasu fire was actually a form of anger throughout his life that longed to kill his biological brother. Unfortunately, that anger was misdirected. That is, he had been angry because he thought Itachi was the cause of his clan being slaughtered. It turns out that the truth behind the incident was completely different. Then what about Sarada Uchiha? Sarada is obviously very different from Sasuke. Their lives are both inversely proportional. Sarada lives without a grudge, while Sasuke lives with a very deep grudge. Then what's different is that Sarada has excessive longing for Sasuke. Because of her longing, she awakened the Sharingan just because she felt like meeting her father, who had not been home for a long time. Sasuke awakened his first Sharingan out of hatred for Itachi. From here, we can already see a very big difference. Even if we compare it with other Uchiha, all of them are not the same as Sarada. Although I said that none of them were the same as Sarada, that was not the benchmark for predicting what kind of power Sarada would awaken. The benchmark remains in the background of the owner's life and what deepest desires are in their hearts. If you follow Boruto's story, you would know how Sarada's mental state is. Sarada's mentality is actually more fragile than the other Uchiha, because this is the first time an Uchiha who enters the core story is a woman. Usually what we see is mostly men, so we will get a very different perspective on Sarada's life and how she responds to every tragedy that takes place in her life. The most memorable thing about Sarada's life story is about Sasuke and Boruto. Sarada, who always lived with her mother and rarely saw her father, felt a lack of affection from her own father. This incident triggered the awakening of the Sharingan in her eyes. Then, after the Sharingan awakened, her longing for Sasuke began to be relieved by Sasuke's presence in Konoha village for several days. Their time together was enough to explain to Sarada why her father rarely came home. And finally, Sarada no longer worried about her father, who she felt never cared about her and her mother. After this problem was solved, Sarada's Sharingan began to develop with the presence of Boruto Uzumaki. Her time with Boruto made the bond between Sarada and Boruto quite strong. Have you not realized why it has to be Boruto? The reason is because Sarada doesn't have a sibling like Sasuke. Sasuke had Itachi, and Itachi made Sasuke's Sharingan even stronger. Her time with Boruto, it made the bond between Sarada and Boruto quite strong. And because of that, when Boruto was in danger, Sarada would definitely feel worried and afraid of losing Boruto. From here, Sarada's Sharingan slowly began to grow stronger over time, even until finally Sarada awakened the mangekyou Sharingan also because of Boruto. However, what if something untoward happened to Sasuke? Would Sarada not experience the same emotions and feelings as when she saw Boruto being considered to have killed someone? Sarada's guilt would be even deeper when she remembered that she herself had asked her father to protect Boruto, and in the end, Boruto was indeed successfully protected. But Sasuke himself did not manage to save himself. From Sarada's life story, we can draw two conclusions about what Sarada wanted most. The first thing Sarada wants most is that she wants her words to be believed by everyone. For 3 years, Sarada always tried to explain to everyone that Boruto was innocent. However, she always failed to bring back Boruto's good reputation. There should be a strong desire in Sarada's heart to make everyone believe in her words. The key word is to make everyone believe in her words. This strong desire can make Sarada awaken a power that can make everyone believe in her words, and such power can only be realized with genjutsu. Then most likely Sarada will indeed have one of the powers that can manipulate someone's mind. And maybe the reason behind Sarada not being affected by Aida's Zeno effect is because of the power of her mangekyou Sharingan. The power of the mangekyou Sharingan is likely to be used before the eye awakens. But remember, that is still a speculation, not an actual fact. Now, what about time manipulation? How can Sarada use time manipulation? This time manipulation is probably obtained by Sarada because she always makes the wrong decision in every action. It's as if she wants to turn back time to make a different choice. For example, she was wrong when she intervened when Boruto fought with Kawaki. As a result of her decision, Boruto had to lose one eye. The second mistake, she asked Sasuke to protect Boruto. As a result, Sasuke is now trapped inside the Shinju tree, and that is the reason why Sarada will have the power of her eyes. And if Sarada is going to generate the power for time manipulation, is the Sharingan that can manipulate time too overpowered? Not really. It will definitely be given a limit so that it doesn't look overpowered. After all, the power of Madara's mangekyou Sharingan has been shown to be able to turn back time. You don't believe it? Just try searching on YouTube, you will definitely find it. So the conclusion is that there is still a possibility that Sarada can do the same thing. But what kind of powers do you think Sarada can get? I believe Sarada will have two powers. The first power is mind manipulation, and the second power is turning back time, or time manipulation. And if in the future Sarada gets the power of mind manipulation and turning back time or time manipulation, this will have something to do with the reason Sarada is not affected by Zeno's power. This is just a theory, it could happen or not, but clearly this theory makes sense because Sarada's condition is not affected by Zeno's power. By the way, 1 like and subscribe is the same as chakra, so I need chakra. I'm Nime. See you in the next episode. Bye bye, Dadabayo.